Stephanie, are we ready to go? Okay.
Cool.
So, yeah, it's 6 o'clock by my reckoning, which is the witching hour for this special board meeting here on June 25th. I guess I'd like to call us all to order. If you'd call the roll, please, Tammy.
On.
Here.
Mayor Hemick.
Here.
Ellison.
Present.
McQueen. Turner.
Here.
Well, welcome everybody, and it's a lovely evening. So we'll try to get through this as efficiently as possible, so we can all go out and enjoy it. The purpose of the meeting tonight really is just what I would characterize as some end of the fiscal year tidying up. And with that by way of introduction, I'll acknowledge any persons present. Thank you if you're watching at home. We're still doing this all remotely in accordance with the guidelines set out by the Attorney General. We'll move to items under 2, the adoption of the financial portion of our consent calendar. That's items 2.1 through 2.3. If I could have a motion, please.
So moved.
Second.
Yep.
That seemed about right. So, Tammy, are there things you'd like to walk us through about this?
Yes, I would. The first item is just some cleanup on the appropriation changes. The second item is approval of advances, and we have less than we did last year, but they're in higher dollar amounts. And one is for our Clark State grant that we had to order some items for before the end of the year and get that money spent. And then we also have the IDEA, which is our special education grant monies from the feds. On 2.3, I want to talk about the Miller Fellow Grant. And what happened with this is a little bit of cleanup also from last year, in that last year the grant just paid for salaries and didn't pay for benefits. And we had some carryover benefits that we needed to pay in this fiscal year. So we're actually transferring the money, and then that grant will be done with us. And in this fiscal year, what they did at the foundation is they paid those salaries and stipends directly through the foundation. And then also we have the cafeteria fund, and I want to talk about this a little bit. This is a $75,000 transfer. I think we have talked about this before.
Yes.
This is from last year. It was an advance, and we turned it into a transfer. And I thought we were going to have to transfer more for this fiscal year, but it appears that we do not. And we got a late minute, rather large federal reimbursement that covered most of the deficit, or all of the deficit. And by my estimate, we're going to end the cafeteria fund about $1,500 in the black this year.
That's unheard of.
I know. We'll take it.
Adjourn.
Wow.
So I'm pretty excited about that.
Yeah,
And
there's sort of the obvious irony that the way we get in the black is to close the cafeteria. I don't know how to what, but that's great.
yeah. Well, and one thing that's happening is what the Fed is doing is any meals that we provide since the shutdown, they're allowing us to submit it as free, which means we get a higher reimbursement for it.
Oh, perfect. Great. That's great. I'm really delighted for that. I think that all of you at the district who were responsible for getting those meals out, that was just an incredible amount of work and just really important work. And so it's nice, actually, that we get a tiny little bit of financial reward for that, for all that hard work in March and April and May. So wonderful.
Mr. President, I do want to say that because of that, we've been asked, are we going to provide food in July prior to the start of the school year? So we are reconsidering that. There are a lot of technical and logistical issues that we have. So it's not for lack of desire to provide food. So we have a survey going out specifically to those families. So we are working on that. So I didn't want to let that go unnoted.
Great. Thank you. Other questions for Tammy about any of these financial cleanups? Wonderful. Okay, well then let's call the roll, please.
Mayor Hemick,
Yes.
Ellison,
Yes.
Turner,
Yes.
Khan.
Yes. Okay, so Terry, do you have a superintendent's report that you want to give us, or should we move straight to item 4?
We can move straight to item 4. My report is verbal this evening.
Okay, so let's go ahead and, hey, Steve, let's go ahead and move to the administrative portion of the consent calendar. And we have one item under number 4. That's, well, I think it should be flipped. I think it should be 4.1, but never mind. Do I have a motion for that?
I'll move.
Second.
And this is the approval of the contract negotiated between the district and the Yellow Springs Education Association. Terry, would you like to say some things about this?
Yeah, I want to say this is as was discussed in terms of this was our reopener for the contract for years 2 and 3 for the YSEA for salary and benefits. And a little cleanup of our supplemental language. And so I want to publicly acknowledge the YSEA and the collaborative approach they took to this negotiation. As you know, we did a different model and it was highly successful. And I think that bodes really well for us as a district, because we're going to have to make some interesting decisions for the future. And I think we all need to be on the same page and moving in the same direction. And I feel really confident that that we can do so. So I'm happy to answer any questions for the board.
Questions from anyone? We did discuss this at the last board meeting. We would have voted on it then, except that we didn't quite have all the final language buffed and polished. And so since we knew we had to have this special session anyway, for the treasurer's 3 items, we thought we would just approve this now. I will echo Terry's congratulations to the negotiating team, both the district and the association. I just think it's a really terrific negotiation. I think it reflects the value that the district places on the work that the teachers do, and I think it reflects the teachers' appreciation for the way things go in our district. And so it's a pleasure to be able to vote on this tonight. I'm looking at people in the screens. All right, then I guess we'll call the roll on this.
Ellison,
Yes.
McQueen,
Yes.
Turner,
Yes.
Khan,
Yes.
Mayor Hemick.
Yes.
Wonderful. Okay, so we usually move to other board member items at this time, but Terry, did you say you had a report that you wanted to give us verbally?
You had it. I just wanted to, I don't have, my report really was only about the YSEA.
Right, okay, that's
contract.
fine. That's what I thought. I just wanted to clarify that. So are there any other board member items before we adjourn out of this special session? Seeing, hearing, or otherwise being flagged that there are none, let me have a motion to adjourn, please.
I'll move.
So moved.
So second.
So who moved? Aida?
Yes.
Aida did. And call the roll on that.
McQueen,
Yes.
Turner,
Yes.
Khan,
Yes.
Mayor Hemick,
Yes.
Ellison.
Yes.
Well, thank you all very much. I think that may set a record for one of our board meetings, and I'm pleased with that. So go off and enjoy this really gorgeous midsummer evening.
I apologize. I'm late. That's what I was doing. So,
Get back to it. minutes, McQueen. Get back to it now.
Thank
Take care.
you,
Thank you all so
everyone.
much.